So hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in, guys. And yes, guys, it is Monday where I come and talk about mental health. So guys, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about ASD. And if you don't know what ASD is Autism Spectrum Disorder. And autism spectrum disorder is a neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others and how they communicate, how they learn, and how they behave. Although autism can be diagnosed at any age, it is described as a developmental disorder because symptoms generally appear in the first 2 years of life. And people with autism disorder, spectrum disorder, which is ASD, they have difficulty with communication and interaction with other people. They have restricted interests and repetitive behaviors, and symptoms that affect their ability to function in school, work, and other areas of life. Autism is known as a spectrum disorder because there is a wide variation in the type of severity of symptoms people experience. People of all genders, race, ethnicities, and economic backgrounds can be diagnosed with ASD. Although ASD can be a lifelong disorder, treatments and service can improve a person's symptoms and daily functioning. So guys, the reason why I chose to talk about ASD is because my granddaughter was diagnosed with ASD. I think she was around 4 years old when we found out that she was on the spectrum. So I didn't understand about being on the spectrum. Still don't understand a lot about it because doctors are still learning about this disorder. So because it's so broad on the spectrum. Because I know of people that have children that have ASD, and their children are nonverbal. So you can have a nonverbal child with ASD, and you can have a child like my granddaughter who speaks and talks and can communicate with you, but different things trigger her to go into different behaviors. So as I was talking to my daughter over the weekend, we were talking and spending some time together on yesterday. And my granddaughter usually goes with her dad, so my daughter and I were sitting down talking, and we were discussing some things that were really important to me that were important to us to talk about. And how we got on the subject, I really don't know. But I wanted to come and talk to you guys about people that have children with this disorder. And then I want to talk about how people treat you differently because you have a child with a disability. And people sometimes they don't know how to react. So sometimes you may have family members that don't even want to come around you when you have a child with this disorder, because the children, sometimes they think they're just acting out, and they're not acting out. They actually have an issue, and sometimes when they're around certain people, I don't know if the children can pick up on their energy, and they just act different, and they may act out. They may want to run, they want to pat or do something like this, or they have different things that they do. Each child is different with this disorder. So that's the reason why I want to talk about it a little bit, because for me, my granddaughter, she does not like loud sounds, and certain sounds bother her, but she's the type of person, she interacts with more of the family than she does with other people. She goes to school, but she interacts with her other peers, but she doesn't interact as much as she interacts with the family members, because I guess she feels she knows us, so she interacts a little differently. But what my daughter kept telling me was, when she takes my daughter out, if my granddaughter starts to act out, it bothers her. And then she was sharing the fact that people don't seem to understand. It's a lot of stress on parents that have kids that have disabilities, because you're going to have the looks, you're going to have the shurns, you're going to have people looking at you differently. So I really, really sympathize with anyone who has a child with a disability, because a lot of times they're not active as much as they would like for their children to be. And it's hard for a parent, and me, of a daughter who is 30. My daughter's 34 years old. She was diagnosed as early as 3.5 with she was diagnosed as being educationally mentally handicapped. So my daughter can't read or write. She's able to function, but she's just not able to read or write. So I'm more sympathetic, I think, toward knowing parents that have a child with a disability. How we react and how we move around is a little different than a person that doesn't have a child with a disability. And I kind of dislike the disability part because I feel like each one of us have different things that we do that are maybe quirky in our lives. And, you know, I don't like the labels that are put on a lot of our kids. So that's the biggest thing for me. And I've been doing this for over 34 years with my daughter. But back to the autism spectrum, because I think when they're out, like my daughter says, she doesn't like to take my granddaughter out in certain places because it makes her act. It triggers her to act a little different. And then you have she was saying, Mom, I have a problem because people start to look and stare. And, you know, my granddaughter's a big girl. She stands almost tall as her mom. She's tall because her dad's tall. I'm tall. And my daughter's shorter. But it's like, you know, it's no compassion of the people are not compassionate when it comes to people who have different issues. And like she was saying, society is so cruel to how they treat people with a disability. And I was like, yeah, I understand. I really do understand, because I know the way I was treated. And I felt like in my family, different people treated you different because you had a child that had an issue. And sometimes I felt like people didn't want you to bring your child around, you know, them, because your child was different. But I'm here to tell you guys, please, if you know someone that has a kid with a disability or have a child with autism or any type of disability, guys, try to be there for them. It is so hard for parents who have kids with a disability to come out and say that my child has an issue. And I thank God that it's getting better now, you know. But back in the day when I had my daughter, it was like you were shunned, or something was wrong with you because you had a child with a disability. Something was wrong within you. And that's why I come out and talk about these things. And I want people to know, you know, because it's a lot of people that have a lot of things going on, but they're not telling people. And, you know, no one should be ashamed of their child. No one should have to be feeling a certain type of way because their child has an issue. They should be able to take their kids out. And people should be able to understand that if they're having a breakdown, just try to be compassionate to that parent, because that parent heart is literally breaking because they're like, okay, I want to take them out. I want to take them out. But how are people going to look at me? How are people going to perceive me? And I thank God for the people like, you know, different people that come on the internet and talk about, yes, I have a child that is on the spectrum, or yes, I have a child that has autism. I'm loving the fact that people are owning up to the process of, and women are coming out and they're showing videos of having children that are different, because in this world that we live in, no one, excuse me, is the same. We all have different things that make us so unique. So I just wanted to speak on that, and I wanted us to be a little more compassionate when we see a parent in a store that may be having some issues. It's okay to say, it's okay, you're going to be okay, and not just lash out and think, oh, I should say something negative automatically to that person. Oh, they need to beat their child. They need to do this. They're not raising their child right. They're not doing this. You don't know the dynamic of what they're going through with that child. So that's why I want people to be more compassionate. And it's that time of the year when you're going to see a lot of parents who are trying to bring their children out and, you know, do things with them. And because we've been pushed in the closet so much as you shouldn't bring them out, you shouldn't do this. But I love the fact that now you have so many activities now that are, and children that are able to come out and participate. I can remember me and my daughter, we were talking about that. I can remember when my oldest daughter was cheering, and I wanted my youngest daughter to cheer. Even though she had a disability, I wanted my daughter to cheer, but the lady who was over cheerleading was like, no, she can't cheer. So I was like, okay, that's okay. And my daughter was laughing because she was like, Mom, do you remember you went out and bought my sister the same outfit? You fixed her up like she was a cheerleader. She was on the sideline with me, but she was able to cheer too because she knew the cheers and she was able to learn things. So I thank God that the world is changing so much now. But I want to remind you guys, in this season that we're in, parents are going through a lot, and we are going through things. Parents are going through things mentally, physically, and grandparents are out now trying to help their children cope with these children that are different. And it's not so bad to be different. It's a good thing. I love my granddaughter. I love the time I have with her, and I'm learning so much because Now I'm learning what autism is and how they act. I had to do research. I had to check it out, and I can know that when she's having a meltdown, I want to know how to talk to her. I want to know, and I love the way my daughter communicates with her. It's very important how they communicate and how their love language is. And I love the fact that my granddaughter's dad is in her life where they're not together anymore, but he's able to come in and help out. He gets on the weekend and they are co-parenting her. And it's so very important. And I just want to let because for a man to know that their child have an issue, some men cannot relate to it, but it's a lot of men that are stepping up to the plate. And I want to say thank you to all the people that are stepping up, being compassionate. It's that time of the year where we got to look out for each other, and not just that time of the year. We should be looking out for each other on a regular basis and trying to see, how we can help someone and if we can help someone. So guys, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel. I wanted to come out and I'm going to keep talking about this. So because it's that time of the year when a lot of people are out, they're shopping, they're seeing the kids that may be having a meltdown. Be compassionate to that parent. Try to be a little understanding when you're in the lines, and try to be more compassionate because the lines are going to get longer because it's Christmas. And I've been out already and I've seen how the people are reacting, and it's just amazing. But guys, let's try to keep them in prayer, because I was in line the other day and a lady was really acting out a little bit. I said, well, we got to have a little patience because there was only one cashier. So guys, let's try to be patient in this time of the year. And let's just keep people more so in prayer this time of the year. So guys, I just want to say, like I said, thank you to all my subscribers for subscribing to the channel. Thanks everyone for coming back. I am growing so very fast, and I know that is nothing but God allowing me to expand the channel. So guys, I want to say thank you so much. Thank you for checking the video out, and thank you for checking me out. And guys, make sure you're having a blessed day and keeping your heart in the right place and looking out for those parents that have children that have different types of issues. Have a great one, guys. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.